Hello guys, today we're going to be doing my everyday makeup routine. I have so many makeup products. As you guys can see, this isn't even all of them. And I think I've finally honed down on a routine that I really love. I wear all of these products quite often, so I wanted to finally share this with you guys. It's so hard for me because I do change out my products almost daily. So starting out with skin prep. Skin prep is very important. You want to be very moisturized, very hydrated so that your makeup doesn't pill or separate throughout the day. This is what I prepped with today. This is actually a Korean sunscreen, but it works really well as like a primer slash moisturizer. Honestly, when I got it, I thought it was a moisturizer and I would use it at nighttime, but it's actually SPF 50, so it's a really good sunscreen and it doesn't feel or smell like a sunscreen. And then this is the Tier Ceramic Milk, like a glowy serum that like it'll make you look like you're glowing from within. I switch out my skin prep often. I use the Ilia base face milk a lot, but this is just what I use today. Next, I typically go in with bronzing drop. I really love the Win Instant Glow Tinting Water Drops. It's probably like my third bottle, but they last so long. I've been using these for like a year or two now. It's been a long time. So I just put a dot on each cheek and my forehead, and then I just stipple this into my skin. Next, I use the Iconic London Underglow Blurring Primer, and I only put this in my T-zone right by my nose, just because it is really good at blurring, but I don't necessarily need it all over my face. Now we're going into foundation. I'm very confident that I can say this is probably my favorite foundation right now. If we're talking like light to medium coverage, my favorite full coverage foundation is probably the Haus Labs Skin Tech Triclone foundation. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Unreal Skin foundation stick. I have been like digging into this because I am so obsessed with it, and I haven't made my way to Sephora to buy another. But I basically just take this little spatula thing and I've been digging it out this way. Like, if this doesn't show you how much I love this foundation, I don't know what will. It is so good, and I'm shade 4. And then once I have a good amount on my skin, I like taking this Merit Beauty little brush. This is kind of like can be used for anything. I use it a lot and just spread it out all over my face. Also a very glowy foundation. It'll keep that dew that I really like. And also, to preface before we get too far into this video, I have very dry skin. So that's why a lot of the products that I'm using are cream products or just like dewy, glowy products. I definitely wear matte makeup, but just because it's like peak winter time right now, I've been loving like cream glowy products. Next, I go in with contour slash bronzer, and this is the Dibs Duo Stick in the shade Starlit. And I don't use the blush side, I just use the contour side. This is one of my favorite contours. I just go around my forehead with this, my cheeks, but I go like right below my cheekbone because you want to hollow out the cheeks. And then I do like this little V shape on my chin just to kind of narrow my face in. I also put a little bit on my eyelids. And I don't touch the nose right now. We're gonna get into nose contour a little bit later. But I use the same Merit Beauty brush. It's very natural, but I feel like from the front, it definitely does something for me. We are looking so dewy. I am also going to take a bit of this down my neck because we aren't matching right now. Now we're gonna go in with cream blush. I have been loving the Patrick Ta blush duos, specifically the shade She's Seductive. I feel like it's a very cool pink tone, and I am more cool tone, so you want to get something that matches the natural undertones of your skin. Like you could see, it almost matches the color of my eye bags, and it just looks a lot more natural that way. Again, just going in with the same exact Merit Beauty brush. I have multiple of these. They're just like so versatile. I could do my whole face with this. Really, I'm not too picky with like the purpose of brushes. If it fits the area that you're trying to work in, then it's good for that. I also take a bit of the blush on the top of my nose and then kind of blend it up to my forehead as well, and my chin. I don't know, I just like undertones of this blush throughout my face so that it looks a lot more natural. It might look kind of crazy right now, but it's gonna work out. Also, I decided to stick you to my mirror. I feel like this will be a better angle for right now. Now I'm going to also go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Pink Gasm blush. This is kind of like a mix of blush and highlighter. I really like it. Again, the same exact brush. And I do blend this up onto my eyelids as well. Obviously, we need to do concealer next. I have plenty of concealers that I favor. If I'm not using the Kosas Revealer Concealers, which is what we're using today, I'm going to be using either the Tower 28 or the Haus Labs concealers. Those are like probably my top 3. First, I'm going in with the color correcting shade Magic. This is like a pink concealer I just use on my eye bags. I find that it just helps neutralize that kind of purple undertone that I have. And I do want to keep it right where I put it. We're not blending this out too much. I do go down my nose with it a little bit though. And then I bring it up into my eyelid just a little bit to kind of brighten my inner corner. You can see the difference. This is what it looks like after. Honestly, sometimes I just do this step and then I'll go ahead and bake, but I do like adding a concealer that's also my skin tone. This is shade Illusion, also from Kosas. Put this one on my chin, around my nose. This one is very similar to my natural skin tone. And then I do this little line right here that we're gonna drag out to the bottom of our ear, a little bit on my forehead. And I typically do 2 layers of under eye concealer just because I really like concealing that. And this is the Haus Labs concealer brush. It's probably my favorite concealer brush. I take this little bit of concealer, drag it out to the bottom of my ear, and then just blend that down. I think it helps brighten down here to kind of hollow out the cheekbones even more. You take my under eye concealer, blend it down the sides of my nose, kind of as a reverse contour, and then I drag the excess out towards my temple to kind of lift my eye. Look how smooth that base is. Oh my gosh. And make sure you really get into the creases of your nose here. It's now time to set my face with powder. I use the Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom Setting Powder. I just love like a pink setting powder. I feel like when I use translucent setting powders, my skin tone turns a little bit yellow, and I hate that. I'd rather look a little pink than a little yellow. Just personal preference there. Honestly, grab a little bit of powder, and then recently I've been dabbing the excess on the back of my hand so there's like barely any on here, and just put it like right where you know you need it. So I just put it everywhere that I put my concealer. So under my eyes, around my nose, and then on my chin out to the bottom of my ear. And then really make sure you're pressing into the crease of your nose. Now, obviously the forehead is very shiny too. I sometimes just leave my forehead like completely shiny. I feel like it looks more natural, but I am going to take like a fluffier brush with just a little bit of powder. You want to dab it off and then go over your forehead too. It's not like completely mattifying the forehead. It still has a bit of shine, but it's not like a sweaty shine. It's more of like a glowing from within shine. And now our face is set. Now I'm gonna go in with powder bronzer. This is obviously going everywhere that we put cream bronzer earlier. This is the Kimchi Failure bronzer. I think the shade is called I Went to Malibu. It's only like 3 or 4 skin tones darker than what I am. You don't want it to be super, super dark. I find that bronzers like this shade are also just a lot easier to blend into my skin. I'm taking the same just fluffy brush that I set my forehead with, putting that right where we put our cream bronzer. See, like it's just the perfect color, melts right in. You don't want anything too dark. You want everything to look really, really seamless. And then I'm putting a little on my eyelids as well. Now, where are you? Now for powder blush, sometimes I go back in with just the powder side of the Patrick Ta. However, this is like my favorite powder blush. It's the Haus Labs Fire Moon powder blush, and I use this pretty much every single day, so I feel like I have to use it in this video. I think I'm gonna use a little bit of both, but I just need to mention this because this is my absolute favorite powder blush. Same exact brush. I love like sharing brushes. I feel like it just makes my makeup all melt together more. This is a little bit of the Patrick Ta powder blush going on first, again in the shade She's Seductive. And then going in with a little bit of the Haus Labs Fire Moon powder blush. And I do put this on the bridge of my nose a little bit as well. And then I take the excess, whatever's there, put it on my forehead, put it on my chin, like just melt everything together. Now I feel like it's only right that we skip up to my eyebrows. I use Kosas brow pencils. This is the Brow Pop pencil and then the Nano Pop pencil. Both of them are in the shade medium brown. I use the regular sized one to fill in like my actual eyebrow. I do a little line from like the front of my brow to where like I want my tail to start. Draw a line, just like that. And then I do it on the top as well. Draw a little line. We're also gonna draw the arch. I don't really have like that defined of an arch, so I fill it in. Take the other side and just like kind of brush through a little bit. Now taking the Nano Pop brow pencil, and I'm gonna fill in the inner part of my brow because my eyebrows are like pretty separate, I feel like. Had a whole series about it on my TikTok, so we're gonna fix that. Flicking motions up, bringing my brows more to the center. See the difference that makes? It looks so much more precise. And I do love the Nano Pop one because it looks like little tiny like hair strokes. But now we're gonna go back in with the Kosas concealer, the one that's my skin tone. This is the shade Illusion. And I just take like a really skinny flat brush, take a little bit off of the bristles, and I just kind of carve only the front really of my brows out, just to clean them up a little bit more. This is a really small but important step. And then I take the excess, clean up the outer part of my tail. Next, I just go over it gently with the Rare Beauty Clear Brow Gel. Whether you have extremely thin or extremely coarse brow hairs, this will hold your brows down. It's the best brow gel that I've found. And I heard great things about it from so many different people before I actually started using it. Now I'm gonna contour my nose. I use the Merely Scott Cosmetics Freckle Pen. I know this is like not obviously what it's meant for, but it's water resistant and transfer resistant, so I feel like it just keeps my nose contour in place all day, and it blends into my skin so beautifully. Just do a little dot on the tip of my nose, get it out with my finger, and then I do a tiny dot on each side of my nose and blend it vertically. And that's all I do for nose contour. Now we're gonna go into my eyes. I like putting eyeshadow sticks on sometimes. This is like a brown orange shade. It's from Hourglass. It's the shade Solstice. I like that it's like a mix between brown and orange because my eyes are blue. Orange and blue are complementary on the color. It's like it makes my eyes pop. I don't know. I really like this shade. And it's very natural as well. I could just blend it out with my fingers. I do also take this along the bottom of my eye. I feel like adding a really, really light brown or a shade like this to the bottom of your eyes just helps give them a little more dimension. Obviously, depending on like what your eye color is. But for me and my blue eyes, I love doing this. I'm also gonna take this Lancome Ultra Precise Waterproof Liner. It's in the shade Maple Syrup Brown, and I'm just gonna do a little tiny wing. And then I just kind of blend it with my finger more. Like, it doesn't have to be, it's not an exact wing. It just adds a little bit of a shadow there that I personally like. I feel like it helps lift my eyes more. Now I'm going to take this Wander Skin Longwear Eyeliner, shade Icing. It's like this pinky shade, almost the same exact shade as my nails. Instead of shoving a bunch of like sparkly highlighter in my inner corner, I've been using this recently to just kind of line the inner part of my eyes. I'll do it on one eye and show you the difference. You see, I put it here. It just kind of like brightens my eye a little bit, but it's very, very natural. I just really like it. Again, a very small yet essential step in my routine. I feel like I need a little bit more blush, so I'm gonna add more. So just because you put something down doesn't mean you can't pick it back up again and add more. I might even add a little more bronzer. Bronzer and blush are the first things to go when you go out, or like even when you're taking photos. So don't be afraid to be generous because it'll rub off. Now going on with highlighter. This is like kind of a newer addition to my makeup routine, but I really like it. I used to always use the Benefit Cookie highlighter, which is still one of my favorite highlighters. Extremely similar, so I kind of just switched it out for either. It's like silver but still golden, looks really natural on the skin. They are basically the same color. This is Peach Quartz highlighter from House Labs, and then this is the Benefit Cookie highlighter. Then taking this brush, it's from Bare Minerals. I don't know what it's called. It just says Luxe Performance Bare Minerals. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be like a contour brush, but I've been using it for highlighter. I do it pretty high up on my cheekbones. Also put a little bit right above the arch of my brow because that's where the sun would hit my forehead and give it a little highlight. Now also taking that same Wonder Skin liner, and I kind of line the outside of my tail to give it a little bit of a highlight, but I feel like it also carves it out more. And then I go on top of it with highlighter. And then I put my nose highlighter on with my finger. Now another step for my eyes, I take the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize shade Champagne. Take a little bit, you can either use your finger or a brush. Just put that all over my lid. Now going in with the lip liner, I've been loving this Kosas Infinite Hot Liner. It's a very pretty light brown shade. I overline the middle of my lips, and then I just line them normally on the outside and kind of tuck it in towards the corner, just like that. I feel like if you overline the entire lip, you'll look a little bit like Miranda Sings. And I like defining my Cupid's bow. I feel like it's basically the same color as my natural lip color, just a little bit more brown and like defined. So for more everyday looks like this, I do really, really like this color. And then I either go in with a pink gloss. This is the Armani Beauty Prisma Glass Gloss in the shade 5. Or the YSL, I'm pretty sure this is the Candy Glaze. YSL Candy Glaze in the shade 2. This is like a clear pinky color. And this does a really good job at filling in like lip lines. Sorry. But the Armani gloss is a really, really pretty, like literally refracting gloss. So I'm just gonna do both. Next, we need to curl our lashes. I'm using the Tweezerman lash curler from Amazon, and I just curl them as curled as I can possibly get them. I like them standing straight up, so I get really close to the base of my lid and then just curl them down like that. And I hold it for like between 10 and 30 seconds. It depends how patient I am. And look at the difference that makes. It just completely opens up my eyes. And I also use plenty of different mascaras. Today I'm using the YSL Lash Clash mascara in the shade Black. And I do one coat across my entire lash line. And then I add a second coat just to the outer part of my lashes so that they're a bit more defined. I guess for like a natural cat eye effect. Actually, depending on the day, depends if I'll add a lash cluster or not. I'm gonna do it today, just to like show you guys how I do it. Honestly, I never really use lash adhesives. I'm gonna use one today just because this is all that I have. This one's from Velour. And I have these Pro Lash classic lash clusters. There's like some Kiss lash clusters. I use the Ardell Demi Wispies and cut them up. This is just the classic #1 cluster. I'm gonna take the outer one. And I do prefer to put my clusters under my lashes. I feel like it looks more natural that way. A little baddie hack in my opinion. Cause this is like, okay, natural, she's cute, it's like fierce. I'm gonna take a Q-tip and clean up the mascara on my eyelid. Take the same eyeshadow brush from earlier and just go over it, kind of fix it up. And now we just need a setting spray. I've been really liking the Urban Decay Extra Glow setting spray. And I just spray it on the sides of my cheeks. I don't really do the center because I put so much powder there. Then my scent of the day is going to be the Wood Honeysuckle fragrance. This just smells like spring to me. I really like it. Now we are done. This is my everyday makeup routine. I hope you guys really like it. I'll have everything that I used today, including the shades that I used, linked in my LTK. I'll have the link in my description. If you're interested or need to find any of the products easier, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe and let me know in the comments what other videos y'all want to see me do. I'm going to start doing weekly videos on here all of 2025 and beyond, so stay tuned for more of me. Bye!